Hi and welcome to the video. On May 2nd, 1982, during the Falklands War, the Argentine cruiser General Belgrano was sunk by the nuclear-powered submarine HMS Conqueror. But what if the Belgrano had not been sunk, and if the Argentine aircraft carrier, I'm going to call it the 25th of May, had successfully launched its airstrike against the task force? In this video, we'll explore whether the Belgrano and the 25th of May could have changed the course of the Falklands War by launching a coordinated attack on the British task force. Could a World War II era cruiser have wreaked havoc among modern warships? Stay tuned and see how it unfolds, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Using Seapower, the Belgrano and her two Type 42 destroyer escorts have closed to within 15 nautical miles of the British task force from the south, while 10 A-4 Skyhawks, launched from the Veinticinco de Mayo, are approaching from the north. This is the Argentine Navy's attempted pincer movement against the British fleet. The British task force is moving east-northeast towards the Falkland Islands. Let's look first at the northern attack. 4 Sea Harriers on combat air patrol are immediately vectored to intercept the incoming Skyhawks. The Argentine jets are flying low, attempting to stay beneath the radar horizon and evade the Sea Dart missile system, which is less effective at engaging low-flying targets. But the task force isn't without low-level defences. Numerous 4.5-inch guns and 40mm Bofors and the Seawolf point defence system, mounted on the Type 22 frigates HMS Brilliant and the HMS Broadsword, form a protective screen. These frigates act as goalkeepers stationed close to the carriers Hermes and Invincible, which are key to the success of the task force. As the Skyhawks close in, they're met by a storm of defensive fire. They are armed with general purpose bombs, or 5-inch rockets, and 30mm cannons. They must get dangerously close to be effective. While the Argentine Air Force did possess 5 Exocet missiles, used with devastating effect later in the war against HMS Sheffield and the Atlantic Conveyor, these were not available to the Skyhawks in this attack. We will follow the Skyhawks into the attack. The models here are actually A6s, I couldn't get A4s. It's a wee bit like the charge of the Light Brigade here. I will keep jumping between Skyhawks as we lose aircraft. The splashes from the 4.5-inch rounds are hitting all around. The Sea Darts do seem to be effective in the open sea, without the background clutter of the Falkland Islands, which did cause problems later in the conflict. See my video on HMS Coventry. Even the Sea Harriers are down low to intercept the incoming raid. One Skyhawk gets warningly close to the British carriers before being shot down. The northern strike fails. Meanwhile, the southern pincer pushes forward. We bring the Belgrano to starboard, exposing the task force to our broadside. Now virtually every weapon is firing, either at the incoming Exocet missiles or at HMS Bristol, holding picket duty on the left flank of the formation. At the same time, radio chatter from the northern pincer fills the air. Mayday calls from pilots under fire as their attack collapses. Belgrano's broadside opens up. 15 6-inch and 8 5-inch guns thunder across the waves. Her anti-aircraft batteries also join the defence. But remember, this ship remains in nearly the same configuration as she was in World War II. Her defences against fast, low-flying missiles are minimal. An Exocet missile strikes, ripping a massive hole in the port bow. Belgrano continues to fight, trading fire and desperately trying to intercept the missiles now swarming in, as shown on the tactical display. Several explosions rock the ship, fires break out and damage control teams scramble. Amid the chaos, radio calls from the northern pincer still echo through the battle net. Things are not looking good for the Belgrano. Yet the gunners keep fighting, the ship refuses to go quietly. The General Belgrano, originally the USS Phoenix, a Brooklyn-class light cruiser, laid down in 1935, had survived Pearl Harbor. Sold to Argentina in 1951, she was armed with 15 6-inch and 8 5-inch guns. But in this battle, that firepower isn't enough. She takes multiple critical hits and her fight is finally over. Her two Type 42 escorts have also been devastated, overwhelmed by Exocet strikes. Yet, even as the Piedra Buena lists and burn, her crew at the 4.5-inch mount keeps firing, showing the determination and bravery of naval tradition to the very end. A final salvo of 4.5-inch shells from the British task force straddles the Piedra Buena. A massive explosion ends her last stand. But the British didn't come away unscathed. HMS Bristol, seen here firing sea darts at the northern Pincer and exchanging 4.5-inch gunfire with the southern Pincer, has taken damage. Her hull has been holed and fires have broken out aboard. In this simulation, the Argentine pincer movement fails. In reality, the Belgrano was sunk before she could pose a threat to the task force, and the carrier-launched airstrike never materialised, limited by weather conditions, the range of the A-4 Skyhawks, and the threat of British submarines. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think might have happened if this scenario had played out differently? While this is a simulation, I want to acknowledge the very real and tragic loss of life that occurred in this conflict. This video is also a tribute to the courage and endurance of the crew of the General Belgrano and all who served.